Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. Today's a really exciting day. And what does 420 mean to you? What does 420 mean to you? So we'll get started here in just a minute. You can go to roberthollis.com/free and get a digital copy of my best-selling book, How Is That Working? Rat Race to Freedom. And we'll get started here just in a little bit. Hi, Bill. Hi, Craig, Arthur. It's so great to see you on here. Hi, Paul, John, Vernay. Happy 420 day. Yeah, it's really, really cool. This is going to be a good one. Hi, Nelda. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Scott. Nice to see you on here. Hi, Melody. Love you. Sandy, I said that. Craig. Jumping around like crazy. Very, very, very cool. Well, it looks like we're a minute in, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's title is What does 420 mean to you? What does 420 mean to you? And as I go through these things, I want you to really ask yourself this simple question. Do you ever realize how many different perceptions that people have about anything? Hi, Jim. Hi, Michael. Hi, Patrick, Katie. So listen to this. First of all, Robert Hollis, known as Bobby Hollis as a mechanic. 420 means nothing to me. So you always got this group of people that, people make a big deal out of something, right? It could be anything. And, hey, listen, 420, don't know. I don't have a clue. Then I met my incredible wife, Terry, and her birthday is April 20th. That's correct. Today is my wife's birthday. Now, here's what's really amazing about that. That's the only thing that it means to me. See what I mean? It's like, wow, this is a really, really special day. Awesome day. I just love this day of 420. It's my wife's birthday. Incredible wife, incredible mother to my children. She's just amazing human being. I just love her dearly, love her more now than I ever have. So happy birthday, sweetheart. My wife, Terry. One R, one I, okay? So now, all of a sudden, because it's her birthday, then I find out that, Columbine, the really awful shooting, Columbine. And they said that the reason that the kid did it on 420 is because he was celebrating Adolf Hitler's birthday. So, no perception, amazing perception. Then wow, that's, I'm sure that Monine and Sam, my mother and father-in-law, didn't say, hey, we're going to plan it on this, right? So, and I don't know exactly, but I thought that, even the awful thing with the Oklahoma City bomber, that was on it. So now, all of a sudden, there's this weird group, I'll say it, weird. There's a weird group of people that celebrate Hitler's birthday. Now, do you think they got a different perception than people that don't know anything about 420 versus people that the person I love the most on the planet birthday versus what I just shared with you? See, it's so funny that we only believe the perception that we hear. Now, if you know one of my pet peeves I'm guilty of today because I did research on this, right? So, someone told me, whisper down the lane, someone says something that says something that says something. And my mentor, one of my biggest lessons that I've learned in life from Roger Penske is a phrase, How do you know that? It was actually based around the title of this book. So when someone says blah, 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 whatever they say, right? I was thinking of Charlie Brown, his teacher, wah, 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 wah. So now they tell you this stuff, and here's what I heard one time. So I'm a mechanic, again, my wife's birthday, and I bring it up, and someone says to me, well, you do know that 420 is like the celebration of smoking cannabis or smoking marijuana. And I went, really? Why did they pick that day? Here's what they told me, and I believed it probably since my 20s, all the way up to 61. How do you know that? I was told by this guy, oh, they picked 420 because when you get arrested for having possession of marijuana, yeah, that's code 420. So it's actually a legal code. Like they say over the radio, we're having a da-da-da in progress. We got a 420 in progress. It's like, so guess what? I've been telling that mistruth my entire life, practically. Let's say at least almost 40 years, I've been saying that. What things are you saying? What things do you say that is just 100% not true because you didn't do the research, right? So then here's the next thing, right? So then I do my research today. Find out that Carmen or Electra has her birthday on that day. Find out that a few other celebrities have their birthday on that day. And then I put in important things that happen on 420. And I said, where did the 420 come from? And in 1971, in California, in high school, they called themselves the Waldos. And what this group would do is they would look at each other in the hallway and go 420, 420. Meaning at 4 o'clock, 420, 20 minutes after 4, that school was over and they could then go out and all go and smoke weed or cannabis or marijuana together. So it was the kids that were saying 420, 420, 420. So it was like an internal code because people like Bobby Hollis in high school wouldn't, 420, what the hell are they talking about? Teachers probably didn't know. No one knew. The people that got together to smoke weed knew. Are you guys following this? And I guess it became so popular that the Grateful Dead started saying 420, and it ended up in High Times magazine. So, never been to a Grateful Dead concert and didn't subscribe or ever read High Times magazine. So, this is called ignorance, right? Ignorance is not a bad word. I don't know that I don't know. And that's what blows me away with people, is they all figure out a meaning, and then there's always these people out there, pardon my language, that are just full of BS, that are constantly making up total garbage that gets people like me to believe something for 40 years. I'll have to go do my research and say, hey, is 420, someone's on here, Craig or my son? It's like, Google really quick, is 420 a legal code for being arrested for possession or getting caught smoking cannabis or marijuana? I didn't do that search, but I just know that what I was saying to people is not true. How many things do you say to people, or do you still think that's not true? And once you get the truth about it, are you able to change your paradigm? So then here's another paradigm shift. My wife and I, decide to get involved in my daily choice. And I know nothing about CB, zero about CBD. I'm one of those people that grew up, I'm a mechanic and an engineer, and it's like I did not partake of anything that I felt that I could control. Let's just be straightforward. I'm a control freak, and when I seen people on certain substance, I was like, no. So it's this story that you hear, right? So I remember being a mechanic, working with other mechanics, and these guys I knew, Kevin Preby, it's so funny that I remember his name. And it's like Kevin Preby, and it's like they were doing an alignment on a car, right? And so get this. They were doing an alignment on a car, and Professor Bitts asked me to go for a test drive with him. We're taking it for a test drive, and all of a sudden we hear these noise, ting, 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 like the car was falling apart. And then it stopped. And so I look out the mirror, and all the wrenches and the tools that they used, they left under the hood when they shut the hood, and they all fell out. They all fell out on the ground. So we backed up, picked up all the tools, and I remember Mr. Bitts saying, man, those two are stoned all the time. So it was like, man, I don't think they're going to get a good grade on this deal, right? And it's because they left their tools underneath. It could have caused some damage to the car or even caused an accident. He made me, when we got back to the shop, realign the car and make sure that everything was tight. And so here's my other perspective on 420 is people, man, that are high all the time are, they're not, in my opinion, performing at their peak. And so now all of a sudden I got a different perspective of 420. Are you guys following me here? And then all of a sudden my wife and I, we get involved in MDC and they sell CBD. And I'm like, wow, I better check on this. And being a geek from the dork forest, you heard me right? Being a geek from the dork forest, you need to do your own research on CBD. Because what I learned about CBD was things that changed my perspective. One example, I thought that CBD got you high. And then I'm reading all the research and they said, oh my God, you could smoke a whole hay bale of hemp. I'm going, hemp? How's hemp different than marijuana? Oh, totally different. I'm like, really? And the person said, what's the difference of corn that is raised for, fructose corn syrup, corn that is raised for feeding livestock, and sweet corn, the corn that we eat that tastes delicious. Those are three different strands or plants that are made for different reasons. So then I hear all this stuff about, first American flag was hemp, that it was like a law, that you can look this stuff up. Everybody grew hemp. They used it for ropes. They used it for sails on ships. They used hemp for everything. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I had no clue. And they said, yeah, on the back of a dollar bill, you see a person that's farming and he's farming hemp. And I'm going like, all the forefathers are used hemp? See, all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then all of a sudden I'm a geek, so I go on pubmed.gov. pubmd.gov. And I go there and I put in, CBD. And there's like 10,000, you heard me right, 10,000 scientific reports done on CBD. I used to market a product for another company and it was called Ganoderma lucidum. It was the red mushroom, the ricey mushroom, but the scientific name is Ganoderma. And I remember it had 1,000 when I was marketing that. Now it's gone up to 2, not 10,000. And now all of a sudden, the Farm Act gets passed and signed into law. Yes. In 2000, I think that was 18, end of 18 maybe. So when I first get involved in this company, CBD, that MDC market, was not only what you couldn't get it into every state. Then all of a sudden, one passing of the law, where for the first time you got two guys on both sides, Congress, Republicans and Democrats. They both agree. And it gets signed into law. So now 0.03% of CBD or hemp can now be sold everywhere in every state. So isn't it funny that there's only 21 states, listen closely, 21 states that have legalized marijuana. But all the states are legal for CBD. Did you hear that? So it's still federally illegal. And Colorado, federally illegal for marijuana. But the state legalized it. But it's federally legal for CBD. So now that allows us now to market CBD everywhere in the world. So now I start reading more reports. I want to know, what's the side effects? I got to know what the side effects are. And every place I read, everything, WebMD, everywhere I could search, it said the side effects of CBD can be, if you take too much, you can become nauseous. And also, you can have loose stools or diarrhea. There's no other side effects. You can't overdose on CBD. So now I'm taking more than a couple of drops, and then I take some more, and then I take some more, and then I take some more. And I'm going, now everything I know about CBD, I know some of you are going to be blown away. They say a full glass tincture dropper is 20 drops. I do 3 at night, 2 in the morning, 2 around noon, and 2 around 3 o'clock. Why? I can afford it, and now I know what it does. So all it does is help your body communicate with it. So it puts together the cannabinoid system. See, I don't have to know this stuff, but bottom line, it makes our body communicate with itself so that it can heal itself. That's it. I now call it a miracle in the bottle. So now we're marketing with it, and thank you, endocannabinoid system. Hey, I practice that a lot. So now all of a sudden, we're building the company, and the company decides to have a 420 sale. And we did 1.9 million in volume. Because now that's buy one, get one free. And so if you guys know compensation plans, again, this is not typical. The typical person does nothing ever. But Terry and I, that was our highest month that we ever earned in this company. It was like really close to $200,000 for a month. It was like for 1 month. So my perspective changed again about 420, right? So you got 3 groups of people, right? You got one group of people never ever going to know, unaware, have no clue. You look them up in Wikipedia under clueless, their pictures right there. And that's where a majority of the people are going to be. Then you got another perception of 420 that could be multiple, right? Could be good, could be bad. But there's people that now have something against or something evil with 420 versus people that are amazing. And then you got the people that are like me, where it's my wife's birthday. Got up this morning, went up like 200,000 in volume in one day. That's like $20,000. You know, I talk about Terry and I've been in this company for 5 years, a little over 5 years, and we average $2,400 a day. See, this is one of the days, 420, where one day make $20,000, $30,000 in a day. So I have different feelings about 420. So what else could 420 have? Oh my God, it's always going to be known as the day that Elon Musk and SpaceX tested the Starship for the first time. And again, we're talking about perception. So all Elon Musk and SpaceX wanted this test to do is see if it is possible with 33 engines, the most powerful engines ever created, if they could get this giant rocket off the ground. Do you guys realize weight-wise and size-wise, it's almost 5 times larger than any rocket that's ever been launched? And that was the goal. They need data. It not only launched, it got in the air and they started putting the throttle to it and it just kept picking up speed. Faster, faster, faster. So now they got data on how fast they can push this thing. Now, when it went to do a flip, can you imagine launching this thing in the air and then making it do a flip, right? It was supposed to disconnect from the main rocket that would go to the moon or Mars or whatever. And it didn't disconnect. So they kept flipping it and then it ended up blowing up. What am I talking about? Perspective. If you read about it in the news, it says that the SpaceX's Starship launched and exploded. It launched in a minute or so after launching, it exploded. Basically telling the world that SpaceX and all the people that work there and Elon Musk failed. So I'm going, this doesn't sound right. So then I go to YouTube and I go to SpaceX. And these people, I'm talking thousands of people, are like, as soon as it started moving, thousands of people are screaming. Nobody ever has tried to launch this much weight and this much of a rocket. So just getting off the ground was giving them data that what they've worked for so long worked. Then the further it went up the launch pad, they kept getting more excited. Now it's in the air, and out of the 33 engines, they started pouring the throttle to it, and a few engines failed, stopped working. That's why you have 33. And they're doing data on all this, and it was a massive, massive success. Even when it blew up, everybody at SpaceX is jacked out of their mind because everything went better than planned. Everything went better than planned. The only thing that could have happened better is that it disconnected from the main rocket, and then the main rocket flew around, went around the Earth, and then landed itself. So how many people think that that's probably going to happen next? So when I said, what does 420 mean to you? How many of you are starting to realize that virtually in everything in life, I'm saying everything, there's these clueless people that, ignorance is not a bad word. They just choose to not know, and they're not in a position to know. Don't judge them. They just are who they are. Then there's another group that are aware of it, but they have to find a way to make it bad, right? They have to find a way to make it bad. Or misinformation, like idiot here. Never taken the time to even look. And then you got the people that celebrate it and love 420. So to think from a guy that didn't know 420 to spreading misinformation of 420 to not liking the concept of 420 to falling in love with 420. And get this, you guys, I'm a partaker of CBD and some of the CBD products, but I'm not a smoker. Isn't that crazy? But I love 420 because I love and adore my wife. I love and adore what MDC has done for Terry and I. And I love what this incredible product has done for millions and millions of people. So whatever you think about 420, is it possible to get enough information to make an intelligent decision? Our product has a 60-day money-back guarantee. Isn't it possible that there's some things that you are not aware of? Where you can change your perception not only of a date, April 20th, 420, but what other things do you think you might have wrong? So, thank you very much for watching this video. Again, happy birthday to my lovely wife, and happy 420 to you. And the sale will be going for a number of days. So make sure you click and find the person that shared this video with you. Look for their affiliate link or ask for it. And try the product out with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Today, it's buy one, get one free. So that's why we have, I think, the best. One time, I think MDC did $9 million in 9 hours. So, yeah, it's for real. So I love and appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Do me a huge personal favor and share this to whoever you can. And if no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. Let me tell you that you can be fulfilled, happy, you can have it all by learning from people that success leaves clues. And oh, by the way, in 32 minutes, we'll be live doing the next chapter, chapter 10, the further use of the will of The Science of Getting Rich. One of the books that altered and changed my life forever. So jump on there either on Zoom, go to roberthollis.com/live. You can watch it live. Make sure you go to YouTube, or you can come on the AMA and be live with us. So take care. We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next video.